Hello friends, welcome to Budget IQ. It's that time of year again, isn't it? You can just feel it in the air, that pull towards a new beginning, that massive urge to just completely overhaul our financial lives. We all want to start fresh, get our money right, and kind of leave last year's mistakes in the dust. And this feeling, this new year, new me vibe, it is so powerful. You look at your bank account, maybe your credit card statements, and you think, okay, this year is going to be different. This is the year I finally take control. It's a feeling we all share, and honestly, for good reason. You know, there's actually a name for this. Psychologists call it the fresh start effect. It's basically our brain hitting a giant reset button. It lets us draw a line in the sand, separating us from our past slip-ups and helping us imagine this idealized future version of ourselves who is just an absolute money genius. And look, that's an amazing motivator, but it can often lead us down the completely wrong path. So let's just get right to the hard truth. Check this out. The data shows that a staggering 41% of people ditch their resolutions within the first month. I mean, that means by the time February rolls around, nearly half of us are right back to our old habits. But listen, and this is so important, it is not because you're lazy, and it's not because you lack discipline. It's because the resolutions themselves are fundamentally broken. And this is the key to everything. We've been playing the game all wrong. We've been trying to run on willpower, which, let's be real, is a battery that drains super fast, especially when life gets stressful. The real secret to lasting financial change isn't gritting your teeth and having more willpower. No way. It's about building smart, automated systems that do the work for you, even on your worst days. And getting this right is more important than ever as we look ahead to 2026. Economists are talking about this stagflation late scenario. What does that mean for you? Well, it means the costs for the big things, housing, services, they're staying stubbornly high. And with interest rates kind of settling in, borrowing money is still going to be expensive. In a climate like this, a good system isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential.
Now, before we dive into the playbook, just the usual quick heads up. Everything we talk about today is for educational purposes, to give you powerful ideas and frameworks. But remember, forecasts are just predictions, so please always do your own research and think about chatting with a qualified professional to tailor these strategies to your unique situation.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to tear down 5 of the most common and most flawed money resolutions people make. And for every single one, I'm going to give you a powerful, system-based upgrade for 2026. You ready? Let's do this. First up to bat, the old classic, no spend January. The idea seems so good, right? Just slam on the spending brakes, cut everything non-essential, and totally reset your habits. It sounds noble, but I'm telling you, it's a trap.
Here's the problem. It immediately triggers what's called a scarcity mindset. Think of it like a financial crash diet. When you tell your brain no, no, no to absolutely everything, you're in a constant battle with yourself. It is exhausting, and it actually has the opposite effect. It makes you crave all those forbidden things even more. And that leads directly to this, the what the hell effect. And yes, that's a real psychological term, I'm not making it up. You make one tiny slip up. You buy that one coffee you swore you wouldn't, and your brain just goes, well, I've already failed, so what the hell, I might as well buy the shoes too. That single mistake snowballs into a massive spending binge come February. So let's upgrade to the system. Instead of a spending freeze, we're going to build a conscious spending plan. The goal here is not to stop spending. It's to automate what's important and then spend extravagantly on the things you absolutely love, totally guilt-free. First, you automate your fixed costs, your investments, your savings. That 20% or so that's left over, that is your guilt-free money. Spend it on lattes, on video games, on whatever you want, because you already know your financial foundation is rock solid.
Okay, on to resolution number 2. I'm going to pay off all my debt. It's a fantastic goal, but without a specific plan, it's just a wish. And with credit card interest rates being what they are, a vague goal is just a recipe for losing a ton of money to interest payments.
So this brings us to that classic debate. Do you go with the debt snowball or the debt avalanche? With the snowball, you get those quick psychological wins by knocking out the smallest debts first, which feels great. With the avalanche, you're focusing on the highest interest rate first, which is mathematically the smarter move. It saves you the most money. So which one is right for 2026?
Well, the answer for 2026 is neither. Or more accurately, it's both. The system to build is a high-rate hybrid strategy that gives you the best of both worlds. Here's how it works. You start with the snowball. You knock out one or two of your smallest debts just to get that quick win, that dopamine hit of progress. Then you immediately pivot. You take all that momentum and all that extra cash and you launch an all-out avalanche attack on your highest interest debt. It's the perfect combo of motivation and math.
All right, let's talk about the resolution we have all tried and failed at, tracking every single penny. You download the app, you sync your accounts, you swear you're going to categorize every last transaction. But this kind of micromanagement takes up so much mental energy. It's just plain exhausting. And the second your budget breaks, you feel like a failure and you just quit.
By the way, if you're getting any value out of this breakdown, could you do me a huge favor? Just smash that like button, drop a quick comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. It honestly makes a massive difference and lets me know that you want more of these explainers.
Okay, so the system that replaces all that painful penny tracking is proportional budgeting. You've probably heard of the classic 50-30-20 rule. But in the 2026 economy, with housing costs being so high, something like a 70-20-10 split might be way more realistic. So that's maybe 70% for your needs, 20% for savings and investments, and 10% for your wants. The key isn't the exact numbers, it's the broad categories.
And here's the magic, how you enforce it automatically. The 3-account system. You set up separate bank accounts. Account A is just for your fixed costs. All your bills get paid from here on autopilot. Account B is for savings. Money gets zapped over here on payday, and here's the pro tip. Don't even get a debit card for it. Account C is your spending money. When it's empty, you're just done spending for the month. Willpower becomes completely irrelevant.
Moving on to resolution number 4, and this is a huge one for investors. I'll wait for the market to crash before I invest. The economy feels a little shaky, so you sit on the sidelines holding cash, waiting for that perfect moment to jump in. This is called market timing, and it is a certified wealth killer. And the cost of waiting, it is just staggering. I mean, look at this number. Research shows over and over again that if you miss just the 10 best days in the market over a 20-year period, your potential returns could be cut in half. And the craziest part, the best days often happen right after the worst days. So if you're out of the market, you miss the rebound completely.
So the system here is simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Dollar cost averaging, or DCA. All you do is invest a fixed amount of money on a regular schedule, say $100 every payday, no matter what the market is doing. This takes all the emotion out of it. When prices drop, your $100 automatically buys more shares. When prices rise, it buys fewer. You are systemizing the process of buying low without even thinking about it.
And that brings us to our final, flawed resolution. I'll just save whatever is left over at the end of the month. This is probably the most common saving strategy on the planet, and it is also the one that is most guaranteed to fail, all thanks to a simple little quirk of human nature.
That quirk is called Parkinson's law. Basically, it states that our demand for something will expand to match its supply. When we're talking about money, it means if that cash is just sitting there in your checking account, you will unconsciously find ways to spend it, and by the end of the month, there's rarely anything left over.
So, the system is to just flip the entire equation on its head. You have to pay yourself first. You start treating your savings and investments not as some optional leftover, but as the single most important bill you pay each month. Make it mandatory. Automate a transfer to your savings or investment account for the exact day your paycheck hits. You will naturally adjust your spending to what remains. It works like magic.
Okay, let's wrap all of this up and put your 2026 playbook together. The big theme for this year, and honestly for every year going forward, is to stop relying on wishes and willpower and start building systems.
And here it is, your entire playbook on one slide. So instead of a no-spend rule, you're building a conscious spending plan. Instead of vaguely trying to attack debt, you're using the high-rate hybrid strategy. You are forgetting about tracking every penny and instead setting up proportional budgeting. You're not going to try and time the market, you're just going to use dollar cost averaging. And finally, you're going to stop trying to save what's left and start paying yourself first.
So my big question for you is this. Which one of these 5 systems are you going to build this year? Pick one to start with. Drop your answer in the comments below. I would genuinely love to see which one resonates the most with you. Thank you so much for watching. Seriously. Remember, your financial health isn't about one perfect month. It's about building consistent systems that last a lifetime. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. Here's to a prosperous 2026 for all of us.